Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a video on the Cool scooter upgrade from buying the kit off the seller on eBay. Fast scooters. I ordered this kit. This is the 36 volt upgrade from a 24 volt 500 watt. So this is a 500 watt that I have. I confirmed that behind the controller there's a sticker that says 500 watt. Anyways, I bought the 36 volt, he's calling it 1000 watt, right? I don't know, 36V1000, I don't know. Anyways, this upgrade to the 500 is supposed to be faster than the stock 1000, according to the videos and everything. So I got my controller, and it was packed very well inside this box, right? And the bag, the throttle, I bought the throttle separate with it, and it came in this box packed. You got the charger in that box. No batteries, you have to buy the batteries separate. So I got all the wires, all the components for connecting it, and the instructions. It looks pretty straightforward. And I noticed when I got my controller, mine's pretty damaged. Now, because to be honest with you, I took this part off to look at it. It doesn't look like it's damaged any of the components on the board, but I'll be honest, I don't know. I haven't run it yet, so I'm doing the install series on this right now. So as you can see, that's supposed to be waterproof. I don't know. It's not waterproof to me anymore. There's no damage to the box. It'll even show the box. Do you see any damage to the box anywhere? Nothing. No damage to the box. Whatever, I'm fine with it. I get it. Yeah, so, anyways, this is just part one on the introduction of installing this kit in my 500 watt. And you can see fast scooters. There's not many people out there that make upgrades directly to fit on. The price isn't bad, so I'm just going to overlook it. I just hope it works. Just hope I don't have to buy another one because, you know, I waited 3 months to install it because I was waiting for good weather. Everything else looks like it's there. The instructions are kind of vague. They're there. It looks pretty short, you know, pretty easy to do. Some of my connectors are a little warped from the heat, so I'm just gonna, the ones that won't, you know, go right in, I'm gonna go ahead and just hardwire them because otherwise I gotta buy new connectors. So, but anyways, part one. So what I did so far, so anyways, welcome to the channel, guys. I'm doing this conversion for the 1000 or 36 volt upgrade from a 500 watt. I think it's to 750 or something, but it's supposed to be faster than the 1000 stock one. It replaces the controller and it adds a battery, but instead of adding a battery, I bought 3 new batteries over there. So I'm putting all fresh new batteries, and the kit comes with the 36 volt charger, so you won't use your old charger. This is an old one. I have the 51 series, so that's it. I'm gonna go from this. And what's cool about this upgrade is the fact that I won't have to use the space to add the third battery, supposedly. So let's get into it. So far, I took out these screws that hold in the battery, and I'm going to go ahead and just remove these 2 nuts on top to hold the battery down, and then I'm going to remove the batteries first. So hang tight. It was time for an upgrade, and I figured, well, 36 volt, they claim the 36 volt is faster than the 1000 stock system. So instead of getting a new one with a brushless motor, that would be sweet. I'd do that. I'm going to redo this one and see how I like it with the 36 volt. Because we got another electric bike over there that does about 25 miles an hour. And if this can hit that, with me on it, it does about 21. And I'm 300 pounds. And with this thing before, it was pretty, at 14 miles an hour, was pretty great to have for 300 pounds. I'd cruise that thing forever. And if you look at the channel, we've had this thing for a long time. My sons have been riding this thing forever. So I want to drive this around with my son and take it to car shows, you know, with the trucks and stuff. So it's time for an upgrade. So new batteries, new controller, new tires, wheels, so many upgrades on here. I did new foot pegs, new front tire, the mount in the front, things like that through the years. So now we'll get a new throttle controller and then new wires and the controller to replace and new batteries. So this is the first step of the video. The second video I actually took off the screws and the cables for the battery. So this is actually going backwards because I forgot to do an introduction video here. So what I did was I took off these two screws that hold the mount. Let me show you. Holds the mount like this. So I just took the screws off, popped it up. Now I'm going to remove the top battery and show the bottom battery. What I like about this kit is the fact that you don't have to cut away or cut into your other space on the other side. I like having that space for drinks. So there's just a little bit of mods you got to do on the sides here. They had the third battery fit, I guess. But other than that, it should be pretty cut dry install. So, all right, hang tight, guys. All right, so I got the two batteries out. You can see how the second battery is so far down. It's kind of amazing when you look at it, how deep the battery actually was. So there's more room in there than you think. So got the batteries out. They run in series, so you got that one goes to there. And then the plugs will make it easy because they just unplug when you take it out. So it makes it pretty easy to get to. So what I'll probably do is take all this out and then just clean it up, make it look nice. You know, there's a lot of wiring I don't like in here that I hope I don't have to reuse. Like this is melted here. I don't know where that goes to. Oh, it goes to the motor. Great. So that one's going to stay. So I'll probably have to hardwire that one because I don't think that is going to separate. So this will be a hard wire to the motor. Not a big deal. Where's the other motor wire? The red one. Same thing with the red. See how it's melted? So I hope the new controller doesn't make those wires even more heated. I would rather have these hardwired anyways, you know. So, and then you got wires that go to the charger on there. So I'm just going to start disconnecting these plugs, take this controller out, and keep disassembling, guys. 51 series. Hope this video, you know, is a great tool to help you guys, you know, not be afraid to start this project. It's not that big of a deal here, so just be patient. I have time. I'm bored today, so I'm not in a rush. So hang tight. All right, so it turns out I was talking about the battery, the motor wires, how mine are melted here. That one's melted. So it looks like on the new controller, it's a single plug, not like the original. So it comes with, in the bag, it comes with a new battery plug. So that's nice. So I'm going to cut these wires off and have a new plug for those, which is, I bet you they either know that this happens because it's literally melted together, and then they thought ahead, or that's just because they can't match those plugs. I don't know, but yeah, so that's good. So I'll have new plugs for that. So I'd rather just, you know, do it the right way. So all right, keep watching. Go ahead and just unplug. I unplugged this one. This was from the charging port. It's kind of weird that the charging wires are so skinny. I mean, these got to be 16 or 18 gauge. Small for charging. Anyways, this is the charging plug. So I believe that'll remain the same. What's not going to remain the same is this plug from the throttle, or the taking this one off. That's for the on and off switch. And you're not going to use that one anymore because the new throttle has the on and off with a key already on it. So that's going to be fed through and plug up separate. So you'll use the charging wire, but you won't use the on and off one. So this is so thin on those wires. Anyways, that's just the update. Just unplugging these wires, getting ready to take it out. Alright guys, so I got the controller out, just unscrewed it from the mount. And as you can see, mine says DC motor controller, voltage 24 volts, 500 watt, 26 amps. So that's all it is, plugged wise. One for the throttle, one for the battery, and one for the plug for the charging port and the on and off switch, but you'll be using a new one for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut these off now, one-handed, and that's it. The controller is completely out, and it's virtually the same size, so you can see it's all empty in here. It's a good time to get this all cleaned out. Now I'm going to soak it with some degreaser and wipe it all down. Really tight. Now I'm just going to go ahead and spray it down with some awesome stuff. Well, it's actually totally awesome. So this is like a degreaser, so all-purpose dollar store shit. So I'm just going to go ahead and just spray over everything. I'm going to try not to get the chain, stuff like that, even though it's pretty well greased. I'm just spraying down the sides, the motor a little bit, not saturating the motor, just surface on top here, because I'm going to go ahead and just wipe it, you know, with a wet rag. So I'm going to let all that seep down there. The reason this is so dirty is because it's never been wiped out, because I've never had those batteries out, and it's just sat in the garage all these years. So just going ahead to let that soak in a while, guys, and then give it a wipe down. So hang tight. All right, so I started getting it cleaned up. It's a lot cleaner, but I'm still going to do it again. And then obviously take off your plate. Makes it easier for everything else to install your new controller, and you got to remove that on and off switch, because you could just leave the wire, take the wires off, because you won't use that. And that fuse, that circuit breaker thing that was there. So now you got a better opening to clean up more. As you can see, it's cleaning up well. I did the first wipe down, about to do the second. So I got my son out here hanging out. So what's up? What's up? It's my 10-year-old. All right, I'm gonna keep pushing forward, guys. Keep watching. All right, so here's an update video. It's all cleaned out. As you can see, I did the best I could without removing the motor. So it's pretty cleaned up now. So the next step, what you got to do is you put a battery back in there. I'm gonna stick one of the new batteries in here. Stick a battery back in there if you already took them out, and then mark these rods that come up, and you want to cut those rods right below the battery, because when you put the new battery in, you're going to put another one here, and you're going to put the other one going this way, and I'm going to show that in videos to come. But so you got to cut this however you want, just below the battery, so the other battery and both sides, so the other battery can slide over and the other one can fit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just remove the throttle cable in a second here. So, but that's as clean as I'm going to get it, and that's where the first battery will sit. Second battery will sit over. Third battery will sit this way. And then the controller gets mounted here on the side. It's not going to mount here like it did originally, because the other battery is going to sit here. So you'll see that in the coming videos. So that's the update. Oh, also, this is a 50 series. I didn't mean 51 series earlier. I said this is 50 series. So I took these off. I don't have wire cutters or bolt cutters where I could have trimmed them. And I'll be honest, I just took it and I just bent it back and forth like that till it popped off on both sides. I could use a foam or plastic block on each side to space it. It's not a big deal, but I didn't have anything that can cut through these on hand. It's not threaded all the way through, but back and forth, the welds broke real easy. So that's all I did for that part, guys. All right, guys, so it's kind of important. So right now I'm removing the throttle wires. So if you got a 50 series, you're going to leave the brake wires. You got on the 50 series, you got a 6-wire plug, right? That's the throttle and the brake wires. So what it's telling you to do is remove just the 4 throttle wires. On mine, it's a yellow, green, red, and black, okay? And I'm leaving the red and black. You could tell they're separate because they have 2 separate insulation wires. And then you're going to leave the brake wires in here still, because you're going to reuse this on your new plug. If you had a 51 series, you would be cutting off, it would be different because you'd only have a 4 plug. So that's the update on doing the throttle wires. Okay. All right, so after you remove the set screw off your throttle, and then removed all your wires from the connector, all those. So now you removed your throttle from the quick release on the handle. Now you got your new one. I went with the digital display and the key, silver. You can go with whatever color you want. So take your throttle, put it aside. Now what you're going to do is, if you look at the brake wire is still in here. You can see it moves pretty freely. So just be patient. Slide that in. Your brake cable is here. These are the brake wire sensor wires. Okay. So you're going to feed the new throttle wires through there, and just be patient. You know, they're going to go through. So I'm not going to video doing that, obviously, but that's all you're going to do is just feed that through, and then it's going to come out the other end and then pull it. So all right, so what I did was, guys, just a little helper. I just put electric tape just around those wires to keep them from, you know, getting hung up inside there. Fed it through and come out. So it goes through pretty easy. Don't be worried about that. But I just did that, like I said, just to keep those wires from snagging up on anything, and then just pulled it through. And you could also pull on the brake one to help if you get stuck. Pull on the brake wires a little bit, and it'll help break it loose if you did run into an issue. So that's the wires going through for the throttle, guys. It's another little section here. A little set screw that you took off on your original grip. Save that because you're going to need it. And it goes into this ring. This ring comes out right here, and I didn't get one with it, so you got to use that. So it makes sense. So don't lose that set screw, okay, when you're taking it off your original grip, because you're going to need to put on the new throttle. So all right, guys, so now that you got your throttle on here, you're going to tighten up that set screw. It's a 2.5 millimeter. Use good Allen wrenches so you don't strip it out, okay? And you don't have to go too tight, just, you know, snug. Because if you look, you see that ring comes out, but it's still going to have play because of your quick release. So, you know, be mindful of that. Don't tighten too much. And I did mine so the throttle was just, you know, horizontal, vertical like this. So, you know, it's going to move a little bit, but... And then I got to put the other left grip on. The next thing I'm going to do right now is make the wires even, push through whatever excess I don't need, then put my wire loom back on. All right, so the throttle portion is done with the wire loom on there now. It's pretty cool. Went pretty easy. I just kept the same slack as the other ones, so, and then go in a little bit here just so, but it's pretty tight on there. So next is to go ahead and wire that up. Okay, guys, just some wiring details here. So this is the original 6-pin plug that I had, that my throttle and my brake switch wires were on. If you have a 50 series, it's a 6-wire plug. And what you're supposed to do is, on the 50 series original throttle, there's 4 wires, right? So you just take just the 4 throttle wires out of here, and you leave the brake switches, which is the black and the red, in this old connector for the 50 series. It's different for the 51 series. This is just for the 50. Okay, so then now when you fed your new throttle cable through, that cable only has 3 wires that go into this 6-pin. Okay, there's 5 total because the other 2 is blue and yellow, that is for the on and off switch. And you'll get a new plug. This is the new plug that you get that will color coordinate to those wires. So they all came from that same throttle wire, but they will be 2 separate plugs. Okay, so if you look on here on your controller, that the throttle blue and yellow will plug into the throttle on and off, and then the 6-pin will plug into the throttle. And then just, you know, confirm your wire location. If you have a 51 series, he includes a new plug for this, so just match up your wires that go into there. So you can see mine will match up here. See? Green, red, black on the top there. So just make sure you match them up before you snap them in, so you don't have to take them out again. So this will become one wire together like this, okay? And then those two will plug into the one marked throttle, which is a 6-pin, and the one on and off, okay? That's the wiring for the throttle and brake so far. All right, so a little update. I got this mounted here. It's only temporary, I think, right now because I want to get it more flush. This is the new controller mounted right below that recess area so the lid can shut. And then in the instructions it talks about that wires might be reversed for your motor. And I'm going to hook up mine the way it was color coordinated with my old plug. Because if you look at my old one, the yellow went to the red and the black went to the blue. While the new instructions for the new controller, it wants you to reverse it. But if the motor goes backwards, then you got to put it back to where you were, which is rare, but I don't know because mine was like this on the old one. So I'm going to leave the plug off just while I test. And then when I set this wire management up here, I'm going to make sure nothing is touching the motor because, you know, the motor can get pretty hot. So when I do that, I'm going to, you know, zip tie these all the way close to the vent over here, coming along the side. And then that way the motor doesn't heat up these wires. I also thought about if I decide this gets kind of hot in here, I'm going to add an electric fan that pulls heat out of here. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll help. So we'll see. I'm not at that point yet. So I'm getting ready to put the batteries in now. I got everything hooked up on this. The only thing that's got to get hooked up is the battery wire. So that's where I'm at now. And I'll be back. All right, guys. So here's the next step here I'm doing. So basically, you got to reverse these two screws here that hold your wheel. Reverse those so these nuts are on the outside because then it gives clearance for the third battery to sit here. And as you saw, I mounted that here, but that's just temporary. I might redo that. So now what you want to do is the wires coming off the controller. So this plug that plugs into the controller, that first negative is going to attach to the bottom battery. He's calling number 1. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3. So these are going to be in series. So you're going to install the negative from the controller to negative, and then the wire coming off the positive is going to go to the next battery, which is going to be the negative. So that's how you do in series. So negative and positive to negative, and then so on. So I'll take a quick video on each process. So right now the bottom one's in. I'm going to put the one on top. I'm going to apply the positive from this battery to the negative on the second battery. Okay, keep going here. Okay, guys. So we got this all wired up. This is how it's going to be when you have it in here. The last step that I'm going to do that's I'm not going to video is I'm going to put this piece in here. This is the top piece that supported the battery in the middle here. And then what you got to do is flatten out. You got to flatten out this edge. You got to bend that up because that's going to fold over, and you're going to screw it in to keep these batteries together so they don't move around. So that's it. But I just wanted to finish up the video, part 1 of the video. The next video will be all the wires cleaned up and driving. But as you can see, everything's on. Everything seems to be working properly, so I'll go ahead and turn the key on. It's giving me the volts. I got the red LED light, brake lights on. Those work. I just put that in the plug coming out of the controller. Plugs right in. So just to reiterate what I did with the wiring. The wire negative coming off of the controller went to the bottom battery negative. The positive of that battery came up and connected to the negative on the second battery. And then the positive out of the second battery goes into the third battery in the negative. And then the other power wire to the controller is from the top battery. This is the third battery. So that's called being wired in series. So as you can see, that's it. We got throttle. Give it a gas. It's got a lot of torque. So, but that's it. That's I'm gonna end this video here. I don't think it's important wiring it up because you may wire, not wiring it up, clean up the wires with your zip ties. It comes with zip ties, so you may have a better technique of the way you do it. So, part 2 video, I'll just show how I did clean it all up. I got to put the vents back in. So, I just wanted to get the video done as far as the install. Hope this video will help you guys out. This is the 50 series 500 watt to the 36 volt overvolted option. And that's it, guys. There's the volts that show on the throttle. That's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification, and part 2 video will be I'm going to finish up cleaning up the wires, get air in the tires, and take it for a spin. And it's got a lot of torque. I just hit that and it's just spinning out right there. It's kind of amazing. So, and when I had it rolling off the ground, it felt like it was twice the speed. So anyways, that's it, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification, and 50 series 36 volt upgrade, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next part 2.